Brad here with Buzztv. Really lucky today to have someone that I truly love, and that's Michael Schenker. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing good. We're going through some hell right now, beginning of the tour, and bus breaking down, door doesn't lock, the guitar tech pokes his eye, amplifier breaking down, and blah 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 blah. But yesterday we played LA, and we were lucky. One moment of luck, that was good. It was a good show, yeah.
Well, just don't gamble. If you're not having good luck, stay away from gambling here in Vegas. Before we really get into it, I just wanted to ask, how's Robin doing?
Well, I heard about this. I know somebody else who has a similar situation, and I'm not really sure how bad it is, but he seems to be okay. He wishes he was here. He sent me an email, but he really feels it needs to be fixed. So it's not something like he's in agony, but it's just like maybe a chronic thing that people get, and it needs to be fixed, because it becomes a nuisance.
Exactly. Can't be on the road when you're not 100%. Now, I was turned on to you back in '78, was the UFO Live album. Lucky enough, I got to see you the next year at a huge outdoor arena in '79. Right after that, started your solo career. Again, I was lucky enough to see the first MSG tour, so I'm just a huge fan. Now, we have the new album. Tell me a little about it.
Well, Temple of Rock, it's a kind of a long story, It's just as usual. I don't really know what I'm doing, but it's time to make a new album, I was with, not now, but now too, but then, that's how it started. It's time to make a new album. That was in 2011, early 2011. But, I live as well in Brighton as well as in Germany too, and in America. But I had Herman Rebel, he's a neighbor, the drummer of the Scorpions.
Exactly.
So, we ended up jamming together. Pete Ray wasn't that far away, and so we did I wanted to play Strangers in the Night, and I said, hey, why don't we just, Scorpions drummer and two UFO members, do some Strangers in the Night, and then, so we basically were working on a live project. We wanted to go out and play some Scorpion songs and some Strangers in the Night and stuff like that with Herman and Pete and myself. And then at the same time, I was already getting ready for a new album. And so I went simultaneously. I went to the recording studio to make a demo at Michael Voss's. And so as I was sitting there, and I discovered he can sing, and I asked him, why don't you sing on this album? And we made this demo. It was really good. I played it to Pete and Herman. They went, I want to do the rhythm section. So,
Nice.
it's without planning, step by step, I started to develop, a new kind of lineup. And then Michael, he came up with this intro. And I said, we need a big voice of maybe famous actor or something to speak. At the same time, I get a phone call if I would like to play on William Shatner's album. He was making a rock album. I said, this is the guy.
Yeah,
Can you ask
exactly.
him if he's going to do the speaking, the voice on our records, do the intro? He agreed, I agreed. And so I was playing on his record. He was speaking on our record. And so step by step, and I said, this is shaping up really interesting. Maybe I should get musicians from the past. By that point, I had Simon, Carmen Eppes, Chris Slade, all these different people, and so we made a list of all these musicians, and most of them were available, including Rudolph, my brother, and Paul Raymond, and really excellent. The best of the best, all coming together on one album. I couldn't believe it. And then next thing was, we need an album title. What shall we do? So I looked at the whole thing. I went man, this is a bit it's like a summit kind of a thing, my whole life and everything it's kind of a very spooky, weird kind of a thing. And so I decided maybe, I want to express that, I have been doing my music always from the inside out, I always find my inspiration from the infinite inside, only you can express what's inside of you. Nobody else can do this for you. So you are the source of it. So I realized that a long time ago when I was 17, that I can give something that nobody else can give. If I stay there, if I get it from here, instead of going to the outside and always do something that's already out there, but so I tried to stay away from music as much as I could and be as pure as possible. So I thought, like, this is a bit like a temple, with holy scriptures, and so I don't know, somehow I kind of came up with the idea Temple of Rock, and then I also realized that externally the people that were playing with me, that also like is a Temple of Rock, the pure musicians,
Oh, you have the greats.
So it's just kind of, I guess, I believe in maybe, it's something that was meant to be at this point in time, and because it was so effortless, it just happened, by itself. And I think it's something that will live for a long time, because not many people really know about it, because also our record company, they were only doing internet promotion, and therefore it got lost. I was like, you must be crazy, you guys. This is such an interesting record with the type of people on there. But I think it will keep going and going and going, because people slowly will understand what is actually happening on this record.
And it's going to grow. Just, especially with you playing, it's going to grow and build. Yeah. Something else, we see you have an indie label. If I am pronouncing this right, which I'm probably going to mess up, is it acoustic? Is that, you have some kind of indie record label?
Oh, well, the thing is, in 91, 92, my last album was Robin McCauley. I decided that was like trying to experience what it feels like 50-50 share. That's what I did.
Oh, okay.
And that was that idea. And
I just, see, we thought just because I was going to go with, do you guys still do stuff? Do you take unsolicited music? If there's,
it was just like, I have these sections in life where it's time to, to experience something else and see what it is like, Exactly. And so after Robbie, then at that point I felt like, actually it started like this. I was in a limo, and the limo driver had a conversation with me, and I was saying, oh no, I don't earn any money. I have my apartment, and I have got food and a roof. He said, Michael, somebody is putting all your money in his pockets. I said, you think so? Honestly, I did not. That was in 1991, and that was the time when I went like, well, maybe something strange is going on here, because I didn't get paid for live concerts or anything. They always said like, there's no money. So
oh yeah, someone was robbing you blind, unfortunately.
But it's okay in a way. It was okay because I was pretty happy anyway. So it was, my happiness didn't really rely on it, but I was now curious, what is going on here? So I started my own company, and then of course the money came out my direction.
And you saw, hey, I should have had this about 20 years ago. Now we saw a little rumor, possibly you might be doing something with Don Dokken. Is that in the works?
Yeah, it's like actually it is something that is connected to the acoustic thing. So like I developed all these different entities in the past, and now they're coming back to the foreground, and now they develop to the next levels. And Don has a really good voice for that kind of music, and so we are looking at, doing something with his guitarist Don and myself, and creating something like that.
Well, that could be really, really nice. Yeah. Now, gear-wise, you were a Gibson man for many, many years, and we see you play Deans, and I'm friends with Vinny, and before we lost Dime, so I love the product himself. What made you switch?
Well, it's like I was playing Chicago, I think 2004-05, and Dean himself showed up with this, hey, Mike, I want you to try this. And so I was at the sound check. Uli was there too.
Okay.
I took the guitar and like, wow, this sounds really good. What is this? And it had this very good action. It was sounding really good everywhere I played it. It was just very flowing, this whole thing, It had to get the strings were connected differently. And anyway, there was something about it. And he made me an offer that was as good as the guitar. I went like, I would be stupid if I don't.
Oh, no, exactly. I mean, I think I felt that the first time I played Jackson Charvel. It was just, I played it and I fell in, it was, where has this thing been all my life? So I understand that. Something else, and you started to mention it, we saw in the interview you had with That Metal Show, we're friends with some of the guys there, and you mentioned it, you live close to some of the UFO guys and you played together. We're going to be speaking to UFO because they're coming through town in a little bit. Any chance you guys might do like a small project under that title again?
Well, I have grown out of what do you call it, like standing in my own way, you know.
Exactly.
I put this away. Hey, you know, the world is open, you know, whoever wants to do something. I personally think it's great to give the audience, you know, that feeling, because I can imagine, like, you know, if Deep Purple would go back with the original lineup, it would make me go to that concert.
Exactly.
To watch that, when I was 15, 16, to experience that thing again, you know, I would do that. And so I have this feeling it is something that we should be doing, because there must be a lot of people there, they want to experience that one more time. You know, because I know how great it would be for me to watch it, you know. And so I think some people are kind of working on it. I think it's more and more being pushed, you know, but I don't want to be the one to be in charge of it. I just be available if they want to do it, you know.
Right. Now, we also see, depending on where you are, USA, if you're in Europe, the band's lineup changes. Is that more because it's easier for certain people, or just...
It's like, you know, all my different lineups have always been based on circumstances. It was never really because I had enough of this, and you know, it was more like, you know, I specialize on guitar. My music is not commercial, so I don't sell pop records that sell around the world and you make millions and you can do whatever you want, you know. So like, I was more like, when people, I can't put them on retainer, and people are not always, you know, like, I can't keep them all year long and pay them, because I don't make that kind of a money. So therefore, they need to carry on working. I have to let them go if I don't have anything for them. When it's time for me to do something, I have to start looking again. Fortunately, I always find the best.
Well, who would not want to play with you? You know, you're one of those guys, and as I said, I'm such a huge fan, and you're one of the few players, besides you do blistering things that could just melt someone. In just the beat of a heart, you could bring someone to tears. You're truly a player that just plays with so much feeling, and I've always loved that about you. Something else, NAMM 2013, you going to be there this year?
Yeah, somebody else asked me. I can imagine that Elliot will ask me any moment, because I have the new guitar out, Yin and Yang, fantastic guitar, and I'm playing that. I was thinking of first like just play a few songs, but I play the whole set right now with that guitar, and it plays really good. So I can imagine that he's gonna, you know, ask me sooner or later to show up there. So I have a feeling it's quite possible.
Good, because we're going to be there, and we'd love to see you again. Now we're going to let you go, because we know you have a sound check coming. You want to get some food. We want to get some food. We're going to shoot the first song of the set in 3D. Make sure you have a copy of that for your stuff as well. But I really appreciate you spending some time. Michael Schenker, if you don't know who he is, you watch the segment, watch him play. You will be a fan before this thing's over. Thanks again, Michael. We can't wait to see you.
Thank you.
Brad with Buzztv. See you guys.